It is that type of day. Man, I've been chilling for a couple of days, but I have a lot of emotion, a lot of things welling up within me. So I thought, it's time to talk. In my last video I did a couple of hours ago, it was a video on Caitlin Clark, just what the WNBA didn't tell us about her, but you have to go check that video out to go see that. And in the comment section, there were a few people, some of you comment creators, who talk to the content creators. In the comment section, people were asking about the Commanders. It was like, man, you must be happy. Now, if you are a follower of this channel, if you've been following for some time, then you know that I have said hand over fist that I am a depressed Redskins season ticket holder. I've been saying it for years. I got my first season tickets in 2005. They were in an obstructed view section, so they were really cheap. What that meant was 3/4 of the field I could see clearly, but the last quarter there was an obstructed view there. So you had to lean around the thing or look up at the television, the screen on the side of the stadium for that part. I was there for a while. People wouldn't come to the games a lot, so we would just move down and just sit in other people's seats and had no problem to see the whole game. It was cheap. It was fun. And then sometime later, they hit me like, hey, I was able to upgrade my seats, and now I'm in the real section of, now it's called Northwest Stadium. They changed the name. It used to be FedEx. All right. So I've told you before, Redskins season ticket holder. But now it's the Commanders. Now, when you're a season ticket holder, here's what you get. Before your season tickets come, they'll put one of these in the mail. They send you this, right? They send you this. And then what this is they want you to pull the string, post it up like this, and here it is. And this says HTTC. That's what it says. It's a cool fiberglass joint. This is what you get when you're a season ticket holder, at least from our organization. So I was excited when I got this before the season started. I was excited. I wanted Jayden Daniels. I did not want them to try to get Caleb Williams or anyone else. I wanted Jayden Daniels. Wasn't sure why, but I just liked his poise, liked his game. I just liked the way he looked. And I know my city. I know the type of players that need to play in my city. So we got him. And boy, did we get him. Now, here's the reality. If you've been watching the NFL, you cannot, one of the main storylines of the NFL this season is my team, the Washington Commanders. And that's largely because of Jayden Daniels, but it's not just because of that. So I want to give you, from a Washington Commanders fan, the real of what's going on. And let me tell you, I'm a season ticket holder. I'm at every game. Here's me yesterday after a touchdown. I couldn't believe it. That's me in the stand right there. That's me over here. That's one of my close friends, the white boy Eric, my colleague Mike, me, we're there. That's me doing a glamour shot. That's it. All right? I'm at the home games. We're there. From a Commanders fan, let me tell you why I believe this to be true. The Jayden Daniels is the Caitlin Clark of the NFL. Not in terms of the identical accolades, but from a perspective that will probably be different than anything else anybody else is telling you. All right? So if you watch any videos right now, you will see Jayden Daniels. Is he MVP candidate already? Top quarterback in the NFC. One of the best the Chicago Bears, who had the first pick in the draft that chose Caleb Williams, are kicking themselves. Cliff Kingsbury, the offensive coordinator, is doing his thing. Man, Dan Quinn, head coach, is doing a great thing. The defense was ranked 31st in pass at the beginning of the season, but the last two games have held the opponents to 14 points and 13 points respectively. All this stuff is happening. And there's Jayden Daniels, and he's everywhere. And everyone's talking about Jayden Daniels. Other teams Players and friends from other cities texted me, bro, you must be excited, happy for you. You got a quarterback now. The Commanders are balling. All that stuff is true. Jayden Daniels is the talk of the NFL, just like Caitlin Clark was the talk of the WNBA. One of the reasons why I think Jayden Daniels is the next is the Caitlin Clark of the NFL. I'm sure this has happened before, but on Saturday morning, I got the news blurb that said that the CBS blocked NBC, who were trying to make next Sunday's matchup between the Baltimore Ravens and the Washington Commanders. Baltimore is 40 minutes that way. Okay? 40 minutes. Battle of the Beltway. Different city. I'm from the DC side. Baltimore's its own city. We don't bang with Baltimore. They don't bang with us. All right? That's just it. Reality. They're AFC, NFC. But most of the comparisons have been between Jayden Daniels and being the younger Lamar Jackson and comparing them to coming into the league and so forth. Lamar and them just won. Baltimore Ravens won a nail biter against the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that we beat 2 weeks ago. They just won, so they're 3-2. The Commanders just beat the Cleveland Browns, smacked them. We're 4-1. So this matchup is touted now to be one of the good matchups. Will the new sensation rookie phenom, Jayden Daniels, how will he pair against the Baltimore Ravens defense, a team that people expect to go far, and then Lamar Jackson, is he here? That's all the whole hype, right? Well, NBC controls Sunday Night Football. CBS is just, they're a powerhouse conglomerate. They got games on Saturday. The game is scheduled for 1 o'clock on Sunday. NBC tried to make it the Sunday night game because the Sunday night game, as scheduled, is New York Giants 1-3 versus Cincinnati Bengals 1-3. No one wants to see that game unless you're a fan of either of those teams. No one wants to see that game. So they tried to get it. CBS blocked it. I'm hoping the NFL steps in and we get a Sunday night football game. But if not, whatever. We still play the Baltimore Ravens this Sunday. That's one reason. But here's the real reason why Jayden Daniels is the Caitlin Clark of the NFL. Not because all the viewership, that's just a touch, but something much deeper. In my previous video today, it was entitled, What the WNBA Did Not Tell Us About Caitlin Clark, I showed a brief clip from one of the people who were in the front office of the Indiana Fever, which Caitlin Clark plays for. And they told a story that Caitlin Clark basically asked the WNBA if they would pay the teams that they're playing against because they're selling out arenas. They're moving to NBA stadiums. These women were playing in 3,000, 4,000, maybe 6,000, 7,000 seat stadiums, and now they have to move to NBA stadiums because when Caitlin Clark and them come, they crushing the town, they selling out, right? So she on her own asked the WNBA, could they pay those players a bonus, and the WNBA said no. But she showed that behind the scenes, that she cares about them and the economy. She was trying to show Caitlin Clark's heart, which I think is brilliant. I love Caitlin Clark. She was trying to show her heart, which contrasts a lot of the hate that Caitlin Clark has got this season, which is incredible. And that's a good point, but there's an economic reality, right? There's a capital reality that she's talking about. Caitlin Clark recognized that there's capital, there's money. Now remember, she was coming into the pros from college with some pretty good NIL deals. In fact, the whole reality of the NIL, which is essentially that college students can now get sponsorships from corporations and make money, that was unheard of. In fact, I would say that there are plenty of players who probably left the college ranks a little too early because they were worried about getting hurt. And many people, a lot of these people come up, they want to provide for their moms. They want to provide for their families. They know that they're the one chance that their family has to get a new house. And there's something about a kid who grows up and he wants to buy his mom a house. There's something about that. There's something about a kid who wants to provide for his mom and dad and do for them what they've done. There's just something beautiful about that. We love that story. Let me tell you why Jayden Daniels is the Caitlin Clark, what I think, from an economic standpoint. So Jayden Daniels, everyone is saying, man, he just looks like a vet out there. He doesn't look shaken or anything. Here's the reason why. Because Jayden Daniels had a full college career. All right? He played at Arizona State, then transferred to LSU, all right, and had a crazy career there. In fact, he was so good there that he won the Heisman last year with losing 4 games. No one that I'm aware of, I can't remember the last time someone won the Heisman Trophy and lost 4 games in college. Like, that's not, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't study college football as much. But the people that I've heard that seem like they do were shocked that he lost 4 games and still won the Heisman. Because in college, you only play like 12, maybe 13 games tops. So if you lose 4 games and you go 8-4, yeah, that's a winning season. But in the college ranks, that's not necessarily something to boast about. But here, Jayden Daniels played a full, he had years under his belt playing college football, right? When he comes to the NFL, he's ready. Now, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but there are a lot of college players that don't stay 4 years or 5 years. Some of them end up playing 5 years. I think Jayden Daniels did 5 years, if I'm not mistaken. They don't end up staying. They're leaving after their junior year, most likely. Sometimes sophomore, depending. But I think it's usually by junior year, people are ready to go. They're ready to get out of there. Go to the pros or whatever. Jayden Daniels and the NIL, I think, are going to change that. Let me tell you why. The hype that he's getting, now there are other quarterbacks that did 4 years. I'm not saying he's the only one. But the hype that he's getting, people are largely attributing to staying in college and really developing his game, really growing and developing. He knew he was coming to the pros. He knew what he wanted to do, but he stayed in college and developed his game. Now, keep in mind that now, if you're in college, you can make millions of dollars. In fact, I don't know the girl's name. I didn't want to look this woman's name up because every picture that she's a gymnast and every picture they show of her, it shows her body fully formed and she's really pretty. And I don't want to look at the picture. Not because because I'm gay, but because I don't want to struggle with lust. I'm a Christian. So I didn't look up her picture. But I know that the highest paid NIL athlete is a gymnast. Now, there is no professional gymnastics unless you get to the Olympics, but that's once every 4 years. The fact that this girl who is she's at LSU, right? She's getting it. There's tons of players now that can make money, whereas before you could not make money in college. In fact, there were NCAA programs that got sanctioned, and some of them could not play in the postseason, or they had to forfeit some game, or they couldn't play in the postseason for years because there were, players taking money. I mean, there were stories of players that took a couple $100 from someone in the booster club or a couple thousand, something that helped their family out with bills, and it got out to the NCAA. It was against regulations, and the school was penalized. The whole time, though, the NCAA making multiple millions off of these college athletes. I've heard many professionals, well before the NIL was even in play, talk about for lack of a better term, sort of the slavery of being a college athlete. You cannot take a dime, but they're making multiple millions of dollars off of you. I mean, college sports is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You play in these bowl games in college, you're getting tons of money if your team makes to the bowl, if you get a bowl game. So there was a movie some years ago called Blue Chips that starred Shaq and Shaquille O'Neal, I think Anthony Hardaway, and someone else. And it was about these high school blue chippers, AAU players, that were taking money, and it was this big ordeal. It was always been a big deal. Now those players can make money. You can be a college athlete and get Nike, Adidas, M&M's, whatever, Speedo, whatever. They can give you millions of dollars while you're still in college. Let me tell you what this does for a lot of those players. If you're an inner city kid or playing in a rough neighborhood and you're ridiculous at basketball or football, especially basketball, you only got to play 1 year, you can go into the pros. You can't wait to get there. Why? Because you want to provide for your family. And if you get hurt in college, that's a wrap. You tell your age. Now, let me back up. There was a time where if you tore your ACL, that was it. Your career was over. But they have like new equipment and new medicines and stuff that people are tearing their ACLs or MCLs now and coming back almost brand new, refurbished, right? But they still balling. I mean, it's just crazy now. But there was a time where if you tore your ACL, it was that was it. Now, if you're playing college ball, companies can invest in you. The NCAA does not care. It's allowable. You can make millions of dollars. I said before in previous videos, one of the reasons why Angel Reese in the WNBA was putting herself out there as it's not just Caitlin Clark, it's me too. One of the reasons why she was doing that was because she had NIL deals. And she was making millions of dollars, and some of those deals end in college, but then they can restart when you get to the. I think NIL specifically, you got to be in college. But then that corporation can end that when you get to the professionals and then give you a new deal because they want to continue to make money off of you, and you want to continue to receive money from them. I think the reason why Angel Reese became such an influencer was because she didn't want to be overshadowed by Caitlin Clark's ability. Caitlin Clark didn't care about being on Twitter, social media. She cared about balling. That's what we loved her, because she was just a baller. She wasn't in there talking. She might have been talking trash to the players, but she wasn't doing it in social media. Well, Angel Reese was doing it in social media and trying to create a caricature of herself in the basketball world. And she worked hard, but no one has really cared about rebounds historically. That's a new phenomenon. They'd be like, oh, rebound. I mean, yeah, if someone has 25 rebounds in a game, sure. But people haven't cared about rebounds in basketball for decades, right? So Angel Reese makes herself an influencer because she has money. She's making money, and that's how you stay on top. So she got a Reese's Pieces deal. Why? Because her last name is Reese, right? So it makes sense to keep her name out there, to keep her name thinking. I don't think it was a race thing for Angel Reese at all. It was a money thing. It was a green thing. It wasn't a black or white thing. Well, Caitlin Clark is the same way. She's even asked, can other players in the WNBA make money? But because of the collective bargaining agreement, they said, no, we can't do that. But I bet you they changed that now. They're going to change that. And these players will have Caitlin Clark to thank. Well, Jayden Daniels, being such a phenomenal player, now this isn't even because I'm a Commanders fan. Yes, I love that he's on our team. But let me tell you how Commanders fans feel. Commanders fans, we're afraid right now. We're just like, oh my gosh, this is like new to us. We haven't felt like this in so long. We were in the stands like looking at each other like we're just shocked. I mean, we're balling out. We're officially a decent team right now. And we don't even want to talk trash because we don't want to jinx ourselves, because we know what it feels like. We're shocked right now. We cannot believe it. But you know what? For a Commanders fan, we're not shocked that we're winning games and all of that we're 4-1. For Commanders fans, we're excited to finally see the culture of Washington football change. You know, Dan Snyder was the former owner, and he was a terrible owner. And he sold the team a couple years ago. Josh Harris, who owns, I believe, the Philadelphia 76ers, him and Magic Johnson and some others bought the Commanders. And I told people there were all these parties and celebrations. I said, fam, the culture hasn't changed yet. Just the owner did, and that's big, but it's going to take time. So last year we were terrible. Then we get new players in, new GM, and all of a sudden, now if you're a Commanders fan, we won 3 championships, 82, 87, and 91. It's been a long time since we've won, but we are a football city, DC is. It's a football city. Yes, we have other sports, and they do well, but this is a football city. There's no fans as fanatic as Commanders fans, formerly Redskins fans. So for us, I don't think we care as much about how many games we win. We're going to cheer, or we're going to scream my face off every game. I preach on Sunday. I go to the home game, scream my face off. Screaming in the pulpit, screaming at the game. That's just how it is, right? Scream. I know what you did last summer, all of it. What we care about is that we're watching the culture change in football where people are playing. I told people a couple weeks ago, bro, them stats about the defense, those are going to change because all eyes are on the Commanders, and the defenses. These men are proud men. They worked hard to get into this league. They are not going to allow themselves to be the laughing stock. While Jayden Daniels is, we should be winning games because he's box office like Caitlin Clark, but the help isn't. The supporting cast is not. No, the Commanders are playing better defense. Jayden Daniels is making everyone better. But the reason why I think he's the Caitlin Clark of the NFL is more economic. I think players will have more of an incentive now as they see players like him really come in and take off. No one wants to, when you're playing college ball, even if you know you're going to the pros, you don't want to go in and be like Drake May. Drake May was the number 3 pick. The third quarterback off, if I'm not mistaken, he was the third quarterback by the New England Patriots. They told him he's not ready. He's not ready. Don't think remember the Atlanta Falcons who worked out to get Kirk Cousins, who's a seasoned veteran. They also picked up a young guy that was a phenom in college. I forgot his name right now. And people wondering like, well, what does this mean? Why did they grab him? They didn't grab him because they wanted him to replace. They just got Kirk Cousins. They grabbed him because they want a backup. They want him to sit behind and get ready. Patrick Mahomes did not come in and be Patrick Mahomes. He sat for a year. He sat behind Alex Smith, if I'm not mistaken. Right? So it's rare for these players to come in and be phenomenal. Jayden Daniels is just phenomenal. And this isn't my talk. This is everyone else is saying this. He's phenomenal. He's going to inspire other players who now may not be motivated by money. Like when you think about this, and I mean, it's hard for us to imagine because many of us watching live or later weren't athletes on the level where we're going to get paid millions to play the same sport we played since we were kids. These players dream of playing in the professional sports, but many of them, if you're being honest, if you were to ask many of them, not all of them, because some of them come from finances and they come from their especially in the NBA, a lot of the players are sons of former players. You got Bronny James now playing with his dad in LA. A crazy moment. I love the picture of Bronny sitting beside his dad when he's like 3 years old, and now he's sitting beside him on the bench playing in the league. Whether you think he should be there or not is beside the point. What a great story, right? Most kids who want to play in the NFL or the NBA or wherever, they want to play, but they also want to make money. So what the NIL does is says, hey, you're now allowed to make millions of dollars in college if corporations want to invest in you. And it's happening like crazy. It's going to be more and more and more. You're going to see more kids staying the full time, playing, getting good, getting seasoned, maybe even staying 5 years. I mean, if you're popular in the WNBA, like Angel Reese, and even Caitlin Clark, she could have stayed one more year in college. It was like, man, why come out? Because she's getting millions in NIL, but because everyone knew she's going to be a cash cow, which she is. But like there are some women who will make who are making more money in college as a college athlete than they will in the professional ranks. So like if I can make $3-4 million a year, and I'm just playing college ball, I don't have any expenses. I don't have a bunch of jewelry. I don't have a home that I paid for. I haven't bought anyone anything. I'm just living life. I'm eating school lunches. You know what I'm saying? Like you already got a scholarship, so you're not paying for college. College is paying you to play, and now you're getting millions of dollars because you're good or attractive or whatever the case may be. You have no overhead. Your overhead is buying your buddies a couple of joints, getting you a car. You have no overhead. But when you come to the NFL, you got overhead. You got to pay an agent. You got to pay this percentage of your salary. Then you got to take care of your friend. Then it's all a lot of it is incentive based. You have a base rookie contract, and then you get some incentives and all of that. So then you want sponsorship. You're getting that in college without having the overhead. Yeah, taxes, I'm sure, are going to bust people's heads open. But so this is an incentive as you watch a guy like Jayden Daniels play, and he's having a phenomenal season. It's only 5 games, and let's keep it in perspective. It's 5 games. But he's having a great season. Everyone's talking about him. He looks good. And my team, we look good. We were literally in the stands like, what? I don't know what to say right now. We were so confused in the best way possible. I don't know what to say right now. Jayden Daniels is going to inspire people to stay in college because now they can make money. And I think you're going to influence another generation of people coming in because you want to be good. If you don't need the money yet because you're making it in college, focus on your game. See, Jayden Daniels, they're saying, look, he had a stellar college career. He took it serious. Won the Heisman, worked hard, and now he looks like a vet in the NFL. as a Commanders fan, I love it. Been waiting for a long time. I got season tickets. Spend thousands of dollars every year. And let me say this. I'm going to end with this. So at the game yesterday, me and my buddy, we was talking, and he said, hey, bro, if we score another touchdown and they don't, I think I'm leaving. And I smiled and said, bro, if we score, I'm leaving too. Because, see, so I parked in the burgundy section right in front of my gate, the D gate. My seats are, boom, right over there, 215. And I park here. We cross this little street, walk up 3 flights of steps. The gate's right there. We go through security, all of that. Boom, scan my ticket because it's all digital now. Scan my ticket. Boom. I go sit in my seat. When we leave, we walk right out. Our car is right there. We're out of there. That's how it's been. And there are plenty of times when I left on what I would call the walk of shame, meaning we're getting beat. We're losing, and I'm like, man, I ain't sitting here, because there's always fans of the other team around you. It's like, man, I'm not sitting here getting smacked in my own stadium and going to hear that. So I'll leave. There are times I've left third quarter, bottom of the third quarter, top of the fourth quarter. I told the guys, hey, look, man, I'm gone, man. I'll meet y'all in the car if y'all staying. I'm gone. And usually some dudes will wait a little bit, but the next thing you know, eventually they trickle out behind me. Yesterday, I said, you know what? I'm leaving early because we're smacking these Bamas. This is the walk of fame. I got a lot of walk of shames. But I can't remember the last time I left because we were just smacking them. And I was like, I'm getting out of here. I'm gone. Excited. So I'm excited, but I'm a realistic fan. There's a lot of trepidation for us. But what we're excited about is the culture's changing. The WNBA, the culture is changing. And this is what's sad. This is what they're resisting. They are foolishly trying to hold on to a culture that they desperately wanted to change, but they wanted to change it on their terms. They wanted to dictate who changes the culture, and you just can't. You can't dictate who goes viral and who doesn't. Some videos, some statements go viral. Like, why would a girl that says Hawk Tua go as viral as she did? And it's going to last, and it'll be over with, and people move on. And she probably won't be popular, make any more money, so whatever money she made, hold on to it, invest it, do whatever. But the reality is the culture of the WNBA is changing, whether they like it or not. The culture of the Washington Commanders is changing, and we like it. We like it. But Jayden Daniels, as the leader of the head of the face of that culture change, is going to help people make more money and change the way college football, particularly quarterbacks in particular, but anyone, you're getting millions of dollars, you ain't got to go nowhere. You can buy your mom a house while you're in college, fam, depending on what kind of house you want to buy. The average home is $500,000-$600,000. You got a $4 million deal in college. You can buy your mom a house while you're in college, fam. Mission accomplished. So if you get hurt, you've already done what you set out to do. But you watch the praise that Jayden Daniels gets. Don't think for a moment that all of these players do not want that praise. They don't imagine, fantasize that when they come into sports that they're having that kind of impact. As Jayden Daniels talks more and you hear more of his story, he talks about his work ethic and why he stayed in college and did all. Once that story starts to come out more, watch. And I think it'll be better for the game. Some players leave because they need money and they don't show up. They're not ready. Shouts to New England for telling Drake May, yeah, we picked you up as a third pick, but you're not ready. They're thinking long term. They have won a lot of championships. They're not in a rush to win another one. They're not. So I would say, Jayden Daniels, I'm excited. I love it. It's fun. But we got a long way to go. But, boy, is it fun having the male Caitlin Clark on our team. Everyone's talking about him. All eyes are on the Washington Commanders. Even NBC was like, we need to get that game on Sunday night. I hope it happens. But if it doesn't, I'm good because we balling right now. Let's go to the tape. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. That's how we're going to do it. Not gonna lie, if they beat to go toe to toe with the Ravens Sunday, then I'll buy into your squad being legit because the Ravens will be your toughest opponent both offensively and defensively. Maybe so. I'm not tripping off of it. I'm not like, and again, I get why you say that, but again, like I said, I know that these comments came in earlier. As a Skins fan, as a Commanders fan, we care about the culture changing, and it's not just Jayden Daniels. It's Cliff Kingsbury, Dan Quinn. Everything is starting to click, and that's what we're excited about. You know what I'm saying? It's back with the fire take. That's what we do, baby. That's what we try to do. Thankfully, NFL and its players aren't hating on Daniels like WNBA players hating on Clark. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are players I'm sure there are people that are mad because here's the thing, in the NFL, you get the hit, right? So I bet you there are defenses that are keying in on trying to get this dude, especially when we do the, like, you know, when he's running. Like, we were like, man, stop calling plays for him to run. Cleveland was ready for them joints. They were ready for them. So where do you rank the hype Daniels is currently getting compared to RG3's first year buzz? So I would say, because I was season ticket holder, I was there for RG3 games. I would say RG3's buzz was stronger, but let me tell you why. Because at the stadiums, no one's yelling. Right now, Jayden Daniels doesn't really have a nickname. They're calling him JD5 or whatever. But, like, no one's saying JD5. When RG3 came, it was RG3. The whole stadium, RG3. And I remember saying, man, we shouldn't do that because we're used to being like, let's go Redskins. Now we're making it about one player. And I think that also contributed to his head swelling up so he wouldn't slide. I think the hype was bigger for RG3 only because of this. Because at that point, we had such a terrible culture that we had such a terrible culture that you were just looking for signs of hope in any way, shape, or form. So you trade all these things to move up to get RG3. He's a phenom. He's fast. He's all of that. And that was the only hope that we had. There was no, when you're not doing well, listen, if you're starving and someone gives you some club crackers and some water, those things are going to taste like the best thing you've eaten, right? They're going to be good, but they're not going to be as good as a good steak. You know, they're not going to be good as a good steak and potatoes. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even cut. But when you're starving, you're just glad that somebody gave you something that has taste and something you can wash it down with. For a long time, the Redskins, the Commanders fans, were just looking for some taste and something to wash it down with. So when RG3 came, that's what it felt like. That was what we had, and everyone was talking about us but they were only talking about him. The difference this year is that, one, we have the memory of RG3 and we know what that's like. So fans are not we love Jayden Daniels, we love it, but what we're most excited about is the culture's changing. That's what we're excited about. He's a part of a bigger picture of changing the culture of Washington football, whereas RG3 was just an exciting player to make us forget about the culture. So on one level, his hype was a little bit bigger, but we weren't better. We were like 5-7 during the season, and then Mike Shanahan, who was the head coach, said, well, he's going to start making adjustments off season and cutting players and all this. And then we went on like a 5-6 game win streak and went into the playoffs to lose to Seattle. So I would say that. Our Redskins kick butt again and didn't even know my boy Mariota's backing him up. Good for him. Champion late. Yep. Mariota's backing him up. That's it. Lighthouse. Hey, y'all. Hey, y'all. They still bumping the Hail of the Redskins anthem over there? We do, but they have a new song. They recorded a new song. It's Hail to the Commanders. I can't sing it. So when we score a touchdown, I'm just excited. People are high five. Let me tell you what happened at the game yesterday. I haven't seen this happen since maybe it happened during RG3 season, maybe. But then it was mostly like during Sean Taylor era. I couldn't believe it. But like all of a sudden, the wave just started in the crowd. And I mean, it went for a while. It was just like, whoa, whoa. And you see, whoa. Like we haven't done that in so long at the stadium. It was really fun it was just cool. Like we're excited, man. We've been waiting for just something to be excited about for a long time. But now it's not just Jayden. Like let me just say this. God forbid this. God forbid. But if Jayden Daniels were to get hurt, we would be blown. But we also know our culture's changing. There's a confidence in our culture that like we were the worst third down team in the league last year. We could be third and long, and I would be at the games like, watch, they're going to get a first down. I bet you watch. Here comes defense. First down. Golly. How do you give someone first down when it's 3rd and 15? Now we don't feel like that anymore. There's a confidence that's growing because of the culture. So, yeah, that's what I think. As long as Kingsbury's on the sideline guarding our golden goose, we're in good shape for many years to come. He'll be offered a head coach job soon, just as replacement as good as him. Yeah, I think Kingsbury's doing a great job. Phenomenal. Great job. The QB phenom RG3 you all had last got hurt against the Ravens. Let's pray that same won't happen to Dan this time around again. I hope not, brother. So I hope not. But the difference between, I'm not saying that he couldn't get sackled, right? Like he couldn't get sacked. I think the difference is RG3 just didn't slide, man. He didn't slide. Like, you got these 360-pound linemen hitting your kneecaps, brother. Like, they're not on the practice squad. They will stop right before they tackle you because they don't want you to get hurt. These people don't. So, like, I never understood why RG3 didn't slide. We would be yelling, slide! Jayden Daniels does that. So, at least that. But if their defense gets some sacks, anything could happen. So, we'll see. Let me see. When he threw that dime 60 yards running to his right, that's what, listen. We were like, we all looked at each other like, we got one. We got one. Kurt, I'm new and I've heard you talk about your group. Yep, I still live here. I am not a Washington fan that moved away. I live in Maryland, just outside of D.C. The stadium is 10 minutes from my house. So I go to the games, I leave, and then I go right home. Where we play, so it's a great thing. We have a nice, man, listen, you ain't lying, Nike. Our offensive line to protect them, but no, they're not. The Hogs, that's legendary. These people just getting put together. But we do have a line that wants to protect him. But as you said, he's quick on his feet. Smart enough to get himself, 100%. I agree. True, I remember that. Even my college roommate kept chanting RG3 during the game. Yeah, it was RG3. And I didn't like that because we were always, let's go Redskins. It was like, we recognize we have a bunch of pieces, but it became about him. And Daniel Snyder wanted it to be about him. And even though people are talking about Jayden Daniels, it was only natural because the quarterback is the key position in the NFL. Of course you're going to talk about the quarterback, especially if he's balling. But most people who know the sport, they know that we're talking about a regime change, a culture change in Washington football that we're all excited about. So that's so it's not just about Jayden Daniels for us, but man, are we glad we got him. We need the Hogs to protect them. Well, we need these new Hogs. Right now, they're piglets. They're piglets right now, but they're going to get there. They're going to get to the point. Because, think about it. When you have the talk of the town, like you do, like a Jayden Daniels, you're going to want to protect them. Because here's the other thing, too. The Commanders are enjoying being talked about. Like some of these players have been playing in the league and just been grinding for years. And now your team is one of the most talked about in the NFL. Everyone's on. You can go on YouTube. You see a bunch of videos. No one wants to be the people that let him get tackled or the defense is terrible. No, he's making people play better because they also want that notoriety. I bet you the defense is like, hey, fam, we ain't going to be no 31st ranked D and everybody talk about us in a negative way. We going to step our game up, and you see that even against Cincinnati. They scored 33 points, but we stopped them from scoring more than we did, right? So we beat them, and Cincinnati was considered, one of the best teams in the league. They're not looking too shabby right now. They better beat the Giants on something. They need this one. But it'll be interesting. I'm excited about it. So we'll get there. But I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for watching. You know what I'm saying? I took a couple days off to do some stuff, but we back, man. I got plenty hot takes. We ain't even done for the day. I got another video I'm gonna do later on, but we're gonna keep the party going, baby. All right, we'll see y'all soon.